All right. So, we're talking about this whole project, okay? The project, maybe I'll call it pathway. And then we were talking about the whole ideation process, which is a problem. Looks like everyone got it, okay? And the very immediate thing you need to do is your design, okay? For mobile application, it's a lot easier to do the design. Most of the time, you need to actually focus on the UI and UX. And then depending on some of the feature, you might need to design a little bit on the backend, but sometimes you don't need a very complicated backend. You can probably just use Firebase to do most of the things. All right. And from there, we're going to do the development. Okay. For the development, I would recommend you definitely want to start with UI first, and then you deal with the data or the backend. Okay, if you think about the mobile application, any kind of app, there are just these two things you need to do. Okay, you finish the look of every single screen, but you click on a button, nothing will happen. And then you program the interactions. Normally, you're going to deal with the data, and that's it. So you do that screen by screen until you'll finish all that. Okay, so that's how it works. Paul, I'm not gonna give the feedback on every submission. Okay, we got a 70+, so don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about that. As long as you're solving a right problem, a real problem, you should be good to go. Okay, if you want to chat more about that, Paul, just let me know. Okay, and after that, you should release and publish the MVP. Okay, and then you go towards more iterations and updates. Okay. Does everyone understand or know this MVP? Does anyone know the term?
Minimum viable product.
Yeah, very cool, guys. Okay, so minimum viable product. That means you actually there is this very famous image. Oops, what is this? All right, so this is the best image to show it. Okay, so this one here. So if you're not too sure about the concepts, think about that you're trying to build a car. Okay, think about Tesla, right? So there are two paths you can go with making a complete car. You can either go with this first path, which is that, I need to get all the different components ready. I need to learn how to build the wheels, manufacture the wheel, and then there's all this whole platform, all this doors and covers, and then eventually I put this car, all the components together. That's one way to go. Okay, or now I'm thinking about the car. Okay, the car sounds like a very difficult thing to do, but the skateboard is similar in terms of functionality. So I'm gonna make this one first. Once I have this one, okay, I'm gonna add this little steering thing to control the directions and brakes, and then maybe it's time for me to turn that into a bicycle. I just need to make the wheel bigger and change some of these connectors. And if I have a bicycle there, why don't I try to turn add a motor here in the middle to turn that into a motorcycle. And if you know how to do a motorcycle, well, let's just add more wheels and then change the platform and make a car. So the MVP is talking about this one here, guys. Okay, so we never expect you to finish a complete professional product, within a couple months. For any kind of startup, you can't do that. But it's very important that you get to this point as early as you can. Okay, for two reasons. Number one, your team needs some confidence. If you spend half a year, you can't even build a wheel, you're gonna give up very quickly. All right. But if you do this one, that's a big milestone, a lot of encouragement. More importantly, every time when you move from one version to another version, it doesn't seem to be that intimidating, right? So from here to here, it's easy. You already have most of the things done. From here to here, not too difficult. Change a bigger wheel, and reset some of the part. And from here to here, you just need to add a motor and to see how to get all this the motions connected. Okay, so that's a lot easier for you to follow and to improve over the time. All right, so this way, again, unless you have tons of experience on making a card, you know exactly what you need, then that's fine. But even that is still, you get one kind of version first. That's always better. Okay, so that's called MVP. So in our case, yeah, same thing. This should be our target. Okay, think about that. What is that first version that does all the functionality you were thinking that can solve the problem? Okay, now right now, guys, everyone should already be here. Okay, you should be doing the design. You should actually start doing the development. But of course, I'm going to add one more. You need to learn it first. Learn the basics. Okay, that's all the videos where the videos jump in. Okay, the speed you should control it, but keep in mind you need to finish your project pretty much within the next 10 weeks, I would say, because I told you we need to spend about 2 to 3 weeks to finish the demos. So your demo probably will happen before the Thanksgiving. Okay, so we need to get a project done by that time. So about 10 weeks. So you guys decide the pace. You probably want to finish the video really quickly and just work on the project, because once you do the project, the video won't be enough. You still need to search this and that and different features. Okay, now for the design, okay, so I highly recommend everyone do a wireframe. Okay, I forgot if I mentioned that in the video, but you know, something simple like this. All right, this is called wireframe. Based on the idea you have, and you know, we all familiar with the mobile apps, the basic layout, the UIs. You know, we have a lot of experiences. Just think about what are the things you want to do for your own app. The really good thing about mobile is that the UI is pretty much very followed by certain patterns. Okay, it's always a vertical screen. There only is a limited number of things you can do, like list view, buttons, you know, input boxes. It's not going to be tons of stuff, different things. Okay, so it's easier for you to kind of a scope and design it. So your first step is really try to draw this kind of graphs. Okay, so you can just draw it on a piece of paper. If you know the professional tools, if you know Illustrator, what is the other tool? Figma, what does, yeah, Figma, right? So yeah, that's a free version, very popular. I never done that before, but it's a professional, you know, design tool. Or what I normally do is I just go to slides just to draw it. Okay, so you really don't need a very, again, I don't have any art or graphic design background. You know, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw all these little screens here. Okay, this is my first splash screen. That's gonna be enough. All right. You know, think about the sorry, what was the idea? The cars exchange platform idea, right? So this is, once you do, you're gonna have your home screen. Okay. Or maybe at some point you want to bring your login and sign up. I'm gonna put a login screen. The login screen, you're gonna have username and password, and then there will be the sign in and then sign up. Really simple, okay? And then the sign up is also very easy. Maybe you got some kind of a confirmation, or maybe name, some extra information. Okay, all right. And then for the home, you think about that. Maybe what we can do for this one is we can use some of this popular like bottom navigation bar. Okay, think about that. Is everyone familiar with bottom navigation bar? All right, so something like this, control the menus and different features. So in this case, maybe we just need something very simple. One, for the home screen, we can search and then look at all the cards, right? I'll call this home. And the other one will be maybe your own profile. Okay, that's it. So here's the home screen. It's going to be a list. All right, maybe of course you can do a lot of filters to do it. And then if you click on one of the card, okay, so that brings us the detailed screen. Card details. All right, so here's the card name, picture, comment, contact, all of this. All right, so basically if you click on one of the cards, it's going to lead you to that details page. Okay, so that's the core functionality. And maybe there you have some button either to buy, or contact, right? Something like that. Also, you need to have your own profile, right? So profile screen. So you go to your account. And then here you can update your name, contact information, but more importantly, you're going to manage the cards you have, right? Okay, so right now you got your card 1, card 2, okay, and at some point here, you will need to add it. So add cards. If you try to add a card, you see it's going to be similar to this one. I'm going to put all the card detail. Okay, so that means if you try to add the cards, it's going to pop this screen, and then you can add this one to your profile, and that's going to go to the database. People can see that from the home screen. All right, so if you connect all of this together, this button is going to take you to this profile screen. And you can say that, okay, if you want people to go to login first, that's fine. Or you can just let them go to the home screen, that's also fine. And the sign up actually will go to here. And once you finish the sign up, you go back. And once you finish the login, it's going to go to the home screen. All right, so this is the design. All right, again, you really don't need to go to professional tools. The good thing about doing this one is it lets you to see exactly how much you need to do and what's the core functionality you need to focus on. Okay, for this kind of app, again, there might be some other feature you want to add, but pretty much this one covers the basic usage. If you can do this, you can add things, you can view things, you can open the detail page. That pretty much you got a platform ready. Okay, so there's a total of 7 screens. Okay, this doesn't really count, so 6 screens, and this was super easy. So really, the main thing you need to work on is 1, 2, 3, 4 screens, and it takes more time. This was really easy. So if you look at it this way, the app isn't really that overwhelming. Okay, so that's going to be your MVP. Okay, now obviously you're going to have a lot of more features. For instance, if I want to add more, special information to here. What if I want to support comments? What if I want to do the search, recommendation based on the location? All of those, yeah, you can just add it. But get your MVP design first. So that's what I'm talking about here, guys. So I'm going to create the next assignment. Like everyone should, get your design right now. Okay, again, that doesn't have to be finalized, but I really want you to see how this thing should work. Okay, one more time. You can use Google Site like this. You can go to PowerPoint. You can go to the professional tools. You can just draw it on a piece of paper, take a picture. That's fine. But it's really important that you start to do this. Okay, this kind of design is so much easier than the other software design, like a web design or desktop application, because you're using the mobile app every day. You kind of can expect what the features there. Okay, any questions about this? All right. So once you have that and learn the basic, I think for the videos, okay. I have pretty much I covered two things, UI and Firebase. Now this one is very important for now, okay? Because once you have the design, you can start to make all the screens. You can make the UI really quickly with dummy data. You don't have to worry about the backend. Do this one first, and this is also where the learning curve sits. That's when you need to understand. Oh, why do I need to create a stateful widget? How do I deal with different UIs widgets? Why there is syntax error? What you're gonna see you're missing the parentheses, you're missing the brackets. You mess up UI, show you different errors. You're gonna spend quite a lot of time here. So that's why I wouldn't recommend you integrate this one too early. Do the UI first. Okay, pretty much your goal would be given any kind of this typical UI design, you can code that by yourself. The style, the color might not be the best, but at least the layout and the UI widget, you know how to do those using the code. All right, so that's a very important milestone. Okay, from here. Again, but the video only covers certain topics. Again, I don't think I'm that professional, so my coding is good, but the videos I don't know how good they are. But based on some of the feedback I got in the summer, it was okay. Okay, I definitely saw people just follow what I recorded and then do it. To be honest, the recording I wish I can improve the quality. I probably need more professional guy to help me to do it, and it was difficult. Recording the video for me is much more difficult than I talk right now in life. So just because you want to do something more effective and efficient, and you just care and saw too much more. Okay, so yeah, UI first, and then just start to build it. And then later on, once you have all the UI, you can start looking into the Firebase, and then data here. Yeah, Patrick, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I just don't do that enough. Okay, I do have a lot of experience with Zoom live things. I'm very comfortable with the Zoom live and all different kind of lectures. You're absolutely right. Just because I did a little bit more. Okay. All right, and then what else? So yeah, so that's pretty much the thing you need to do. All right, so keep in mind, okay, I'll put some notes here, the deadlines, okay, about like 10 weeks. That's pretty much the time you have, okay. All right, I'll later on talk more about publishing those, and the earlier the better. Then you can then work on the iterations, improve it, and then send another update to the store, and then get it published. Get it updated on the user's phone. Okay, so what I want you to see today is I want to break this down so that this project isn't really that complicated. Okay, and also when you start to make it, it's only two things: UI plus the data. And for the data part, try to use the Firebase to do everything. You should be able to use that one to do everything. I will try to avoid building your own backend server. Okay, that's going to take too much time. Just Firebase should give you everything. All right, so I think that's all I want to share. I want to just think up very quick, guys. For the coming week, you need to finish this one. I'm going to post this assignment here, okay, very quickly. You need to finish this one. This week, this method, I told you I'm going to put more little small assignment to make sure everyone is doing things, okay. And hopefully you set up your GitHub and start pushing things. Yeah, I think this is not the first time I do this course, so I'm pretty confident you guys can all deliver something really cool at the end. Okay, so that's all I have today, guys. Any questions?